apartment site sent this little letter in which they're talking about the parking and everything. This gave me a video idea. I was telling my boyfriend about this notice that I had received. Nothing bad. It really doesn't affect me nor apply to me. But I was just telling him about what the letter was saying, the tone of it, and you know, the details. And then when we got here, I showed it to him. And I said, you know what? The way this is formatted, it makes me think of that little voice inside of my head that sounds completely unlike what my voice sounds to me as it resonates throughout the bones and just the insides of my head. Definitely what my ears interpret from the playback of videos. So that's what I imagine I sound like to you guys, which I'm sorry. Not just kidding. What we're going to do is we're going to absolutely break this letter down and just have fun with it. And I will try to voice it over the way this is formatted makes it sound in my head. So let's dive into it. All right, so here we go. So anytime you have something in bold, that means emphasis. So because it is not all caps, you have to read it as how's your parking? Like really firm, really solid, really serious. And then it goes, assigned parking spaces are a blessing, but you might feel your neighbor's wrath if you don't practice proper apartment parking etiquette. Follow these tips for courteous and strategic parking. And then it enumerates the advice and it goes, don't park in your neighbor's or vacant apartment parking spaces. If you have assigned parking, it's a no-brainer to park only in your own space. Blank spaces are for guests only. Please be sure to inform your family and friends of this policy and advise them as to the nearest visitor parking spaces. Visitor spots are located throughout. Oh my god, do you guys know O'Shea? O'Shea Duke Jackson? He's another YouTuber and he talks about social issues primarily in the Black community. And he has this really cool and funny way of saying community. So here goes my impression. Are located throughout the community and are available on a first-come, first-served basis. If the closest visitor spots to your home are occupied, your guest may need to park in a spot further away. Striped zones are tow-away zones. The striped zones are not parking spaces and you are in violation if you park in one. Fines! $25 first violation, $50 second or more violations. Towing will be enforced at owner's expense. So there you have it, guys. That is how this letter just sounds to me in my brain. Like if I were to read this but try to put it out loud, it's sort of like that. But of course, if I were reading this to a group, I would read it like normal. Put emphasis where it's needed, but not as dramatic as the voice in my head that I just tried to, you know, put on tape. That was intense. But anyways, you guys, how do you feel about the tone of this letter? I mean, this is no big deal, like honestly, but how does the voice in your head sound to you? Does it sound pretty much like what resonates in your head when you speak normally? Have you ever recorded yourself and listened to your playback and it sounds pretty consistent? For me, it's really an ambiguous voice. Like I cannot even assign it a gender. It doesn't even sound male nor female. It's kind of strange now that I think about it. But I have always told myself how it's not anything like what I hear either internally or a playback of a recording, so I don't know. I don't know. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I definitely had fun rereading this. So, yeah, you guys, let me know if you live in an apartment complex, if they have a better writing etiquette, because this does not impress me. I'm just saying. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. The community.